I'd like to thank you, Robert, and council for this opportunity to be the mayor. I appreciate that. I also want to welcome back Mayor Pro Tem Cornman to the council, and also Councilwoman Fox.
Thank you.
We will open our meeting. We will open the meeting of the regular meeting of City Council of the City of Poplar Bluff, Missouri, to be held on Monday, April 19th, 2021 at 7 p.m. in the City Council chambers at 301 South 5th Street. We will now have our invocation by Reverend Frank Childstack of the First Christian Church of Poplar Bluff, and then please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
It's always my pleasure to come and lift you up in prayer. I know that you have very difficult decisions to make from time to time, and so we like to lift you up in prayer. Will you pray with me? Dear wise and loving God, thank you on behalf of all who are gathered here tonight. Thank you for your many and abundant blessings. Thank you for the day that has gone before us with many opportunities to share your blessings even in these times. Thank you for life itself, for the measure of health we need to fulfill our callings, for nourishment, and for friendships. Thank you for the ability to be involved in useful work and for the honor of bearing appropriate responsibilities. Thanks as well for the freedom to embrace you or the freedom to reject you. Thank you for loving us even so from your boundless and gracious nature. Lord, in the scriptures you have said that citizens ought to obey the governing authorities, since you have established those very authorities to promote peace and order and justice. Tonight, we ask your blessing on the people who have been called to lead the community in which we live and work and pray. Therefore, I pray for our mayor, for the various levels of city officials, and in particular for the assembled council here tonight. Tonight, Lord, remind them, because we all forget from time to time, especially in the noisiness of what passes for political debate today, that they're not only leaders, but also servants, and that it is their responsibility and ours to serve the common good of all. Tonight, remind them, no matter where we live, everyone is our neighbor, our sibling, and that throughout the ages, prophets have called the leaders of the people to respect and protect the least of those among us. Tonight, remind them that our children, the elderly, the poor, those who are hungry, those who have no homes, those who are ill in body, mind, or spirit, the strangers in our midst, those who live on the margin, those who are alone, those who are forgotten, need their support and leadership. Tonight, Lord, grant them and us the wisdom and courage to know and to do what is right and good and true. Tonight, may they and we speak out when it is time to speak out, and listen patiently and receptively when it is time to listen. May they and we always be guided by the spirit of community, by the spirit of justice, and by the spirit of love. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Childstack. At this time, our Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Law Summers of Troop 4166.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under a republic, liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Law. Roll call, Clerk Young.
Councilwoman Parson?
Here.
Councilwoman Fox?
Here.
Councilwoman Horton?
Here.
Councilman Cornman?
Here.
I'm sorry, Mayor Pro Tem. Councilwoman Taylor?
Here.
Councilman Smith?
Here.
Mayor Davis?
Here.
We do have a quorum.
Item 5, disclosure of interest. Any member of the city council may disclose any possible conflict of interest dealing with either any item on the printed agenda or with any matter discussed at a previous meeting. Seeing none, item 6, citizens' input. Each person in the audience may take this opportunity to address the city council on any matter which is not on the printed agenda. I believe Mr. Summers, Law Summers, if you will come forward and state your name and address and address the council with your...
My name is Law Summers, address 891 Mockingbird Lane. And I'm here tonight because I have an Eagle Scout project, and my project is pretty much just the idea of the American events in this town, like 4th of July, Memorial Day, stuff like that. Our troop, for about the past 20, 25 years, has put flags out around town. You can see it on I think, PP Highway, maybe. And right now, we put out about 150 flags. And my goal for my Eagle Scout project is to just about double that number. I think we'll end up with about 320 to about 350 flags. And the VFW, the Veterans of Foreign Wars Association, I've already talked with them, and they've sponsored me, and they're really willing to work with me because they're good, nice people. And they're giving me supplies. And so we're going to build about 150 flags. And so what I'm asking for the city would do is the bases around town just need to be kind of repaired and looked at. And we're going to go around town and just look at those and map those out for you guys, just so it's really easy. And it'll probably be about a week before we really have all those mapped out. And then I could return and just give you all the numbers and everything that you guys would need. But tonight I'm just kind of asking for permission to do so.
All that sounds very good to me. We appreciate that. Do we need a consensus vote to let he and his troop do this?
Yes.
All in favor? Aye.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all so much for what you do.
Item 7, the consent agenda. The items on the consent agenda are approved by a single action of the city council. If any council member would like to have an item removed from this consent agenda and considered separately, he or she may request to do so.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we accept the consent agenda as presented.
So moved. Consent agenda accepted as presented. Item 8, workshop items for...
Steve, we actually need to take a vote on that. We just need an oral vote to approve.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
None opposed? Accepted. Okay, item 8, workshop items for discussion. The city council will review chapter 120.060 residential requirements regarding personnel. Mr. Winters?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So a few weeks ago, I presented to you the idea of potentially expanding our residency requirements for our employees. Right now, the city manager is required to live in the city limits, and all the other employees are required to live within the boundaries of Butler County. And we definitely have had some difficulty with recruitment lately. Done a little research, and I presented in your packet tonight. There's a list of 49 other communities of varying sizes from a variety of different places across the state of Missouri. There's even some from outside the state of Missouri on that list, and their residency requirements. And by reviewing that list, we are one of the more strict as far as residency requirements for employees. this is not not an issue that faces just Poplar Bluff. It's not an issue that just faces government entities. It's also an issue that private entities and businesses are having across our country, is recruiting good help. So what I'm asking, my proposal to you is to expand our residency requirements for our city employees, excluding myself, of course, and municipal utilities who have a requirement already in there of 12 miles, I believe, to include the counties that are adjacent to Butler County in Missouri, which would be Ripley, Carter, Wayne, Stoddard, and Dunklin. I'll bring that back for your discussion and get your thoughts and inputs. And
So, are we able to talk? May I address?
yes.
Okay. I have a few concerns.
Sure.
Only because if we're having a fire downtown,
Sure.
and we have people way on the other side of a county that's 45 minutes to an hour away,
Sure.
you're looking at the safety of the people that are fighting the fire and the citizens of this community
Sure.
if someone's in there.
Sure.
Is it something that maybe could go by department?
It definitely could be, if the fire department wanted to be different, just like municipal utilities has a different requirement.
Okay. All right. I would like to make the motion that we table it.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Well, we can table this, I would guess, or set it for an additional workshop and vote. Correct?
Right, we didn't have,
So we had two that voted to table it.
right, and the
four
rest
that-
of it
five that
have not
didn't.
answered.
Okay, how many,
So, I'm new here.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to play that card for a while. Is it something that we could maybe hear from the department heads
Sure.
on their thoughts?
Sure, sure.
So, from Chief Stucker and Chief Whiteley and Jerry Lawson, and see their thoughts on it, and then maybe make a little more informed decision on that?
And we have, discussed it at our department head meetings, and Ralph is the one that is, Chief Stucker is the one that is concerned about it. Really for your typical city employee, for somebody that works for the street department, and for them to live, on the other side of Doniphan really isn't economical for them. The fire department is definitely in a different situation where they're work a day and they're off 2 days, so it would lend itself to a little more flexibility than somebody that's driving to work 5 days a week, with gas prices the way it is, it doesn't pay for it to live an hour away from here.
Right.
But we could definitely look at department by department. Be glad to do that. I'm sure that I can have each of them provide a written statement to provide in your next council packet if that's what y'all would like. I'm sure they'd all be glad to do that.
I'd
Yeah.
like to see that.
I would too.
Yeah.
So I would like to make the motion.
Okay, we've got a motion on the
Okay.
floor, so
well, we have a motion to table, and we have a second. Are there any other motions, or do we want to table this?
So let's make that, settle that motion.
Right,
So
and then
you
we'll
have
do another,
two yes
yeah.
votes.
yeah. We didn't establish who was not in favor of,
I don't think
Okay.
anybody voted not in favor. I think we just abstained.
So the motion failed because only two voted in favor.
Okay, the motion fails, and we will move this, table this at the time being for additional information from our department heads.
So we're going to get information from the department heads
Yeah, I
before
can
we
have
vote.
each of
That
the, if that's what the seven of y'all would like, is for me to
So that
ask the-
motion failed, correct?
Yes.
this motion.
So I would like to make a motion that we move this to a second workshop
Yes.
at the next council meeting.
Second?
With the
Second.
department head.
With
Wait,
with
time out. Let's get some procedural
Yeah.
guidance
He's
from
you.
standing
Counselor.
back there. So.
There is a motion that has been seconded that is on the floor, and additional motions are not in order at this time. There are a couple of options for you. The motion to table has the effect of just tabling it indefinitely without any future action unless it's brought off the table. If I'm reading what you all want to do, I would suggest that the movement of the original motion, move it, instead of tabling it, move it to the next workshop session of the council, and I think that
I
will
mention that,
accomplish
yes.
what you all are trying to do, and that will give the manager the opportunity to get some more information, maybe even have your department heads come to the meeting if you want. But I would suggest that if that is in fact what the councilwoman wants to do, that the motion be that it be moved to the May 3rd workshop session.
I'll do that, make that motion. Back out of my other one and make that one.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, this is moved to the next meeting on May 3rd.
Can I ask a question real quick?
Yes, sir.
Have you already met with all the department heads regarding this?
Yes.
Was Chief Stucker the only one that was against it?
Yes.
Just curious.
And I wouldn't say he was against it,
He just had some concerns, okay.
What were his, what did he say?
Basically what Ms. Taylor said, that he was concerned about, if his guys lived at Donovan and they had a fire and they had to call everybody back, then that person that lived in Donovan, it would take them longer to get back than if they were required to live within the boundary of the county.
Right. It's a safety issue, is how I feel. I mean, obviously, everybody here knows that my husband goes into burning buildings. So that's how I look at this whole thing is, every fireman's life is put at risk if you're waiting more than 15 minutes for someone to get here. So that's my concern. And that's probably municipal utilities' concern, why they have 12-mile radius, because they have to come put out the electric before.
And they are in a little different setup, where they actually are, they have certain employees that are designated as on-call. So, they know, that if it's Steve Davis's day to be on call, then he has to be available and is getting paid for being on call. So that is a little bit different.
That is, yes. But if he lived 45 miles out, that would be an issue. Okay.
Are there any further questions or comments? If not, we'll move on to the next item B. The city council will...
I don't think we
I think we'll need to take a vote on that motion.
Okay, this was a motion to move it for additional workshop on May 3rd. Roll call, clerk.
Actually, we can just do an oral vote on it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. None opposed? Motion carries. Item B, the city council will consider an agreement between the city of Poplar Bluff and MoDOT regarding the Wolf Creek TAP 5100-012 Trails Grant. Mr. Winters?
At our last meeting, I'd mentioned that the city had been awarded a grant through MoDOT's Transportation Alternatives Program in an amount not to exceed $274,088 to construct the Wolf Creek Connector Trail that would connect our sidewalks in the city with the Wolf Creek Trail that's located in the Mark Twain National Forest. This project is a collaboration with the Poplar Bluff Chamber of Commerce, Butler County, and the Parks Department. All the matching dollars will be provided by the Chamber of Commerce. The estimate for the total project is $500,364. And this is just the agreement between the city and MoDOT for us receiving those grant funds.
I make a motion to move that to the May 3rd voting session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed? Motion carries. Action item 9, action required items. Bill AA Item AA, Bill Number 8301. The City Council will take action on an ordinance regarding a request to destroy antiquated records retained by the Poplar Bluff Police Department as prescribed by the Missouri Secretary of State's Records Retention Schedule.
I move for the first reading of Bill Number 8301.
Second.
Counselor?
Any discussion?
Is there any discussion?
Need to approve
All in
the
favor?
motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed? Motion carries. Counselor?
An ordinance authorizing the destruction of antiquated records by the Poplar Bluff Police Department.
Motion for second reading, bill number 8301.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed? Counselor?
An ordinance authorizing the destruction of antiquated records by the Poplar Bluff Police Department.
Move for adoption of Bill Number 8301.
Second.
Any additional questions or comments? Roll call, clerk.
Councilwoman Parson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Fox?
Yes.
Councilwoman Horton?
Yes.
Councilman Smith?
Yes.
Councilwoman Taylor?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cornman?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes.
It passes.
Bill is adopted. Bill 8301. Item BB, Resolution Number 1945. The City Council will take action on a resolution with respect to the annexation of a certain unincorporated area to the City of Poplar Bluff, such property being located at 700 Shelby Road, owned by Bell Real Estate, LLC.
Motion for the reading of the resolution 1945.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Counselor?
A resolution with respect to the annexation of a certain unincorporated area into the City of Poplar Bluff, Missouri, such property being located at 700 Shelby Road in Butler County and owned by Bell Real Estate, LLC.
Move for adoption of Resolution Number 1945.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Nope, roll call.
There's no other further questions or comments. We have a roll call, clerk.
Councilwoman Parson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Fox?
Yes.
Councilwoman Horton?
Yes.
Councilman Smith?
Yes.
Councilwoman Taylor?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cornman?
Yes.
Mayor Smith?
Ye-
I'm sorry, Mayor Davis.
Yes.
Been a confusing evening.
Bill, Resolution Number 1945 is adopted. Item CC, the City Council of the City of Poplar Bluff will meet in a closed meeting in which we will discuss such matters which are exempted under the open meeting laws, Section 610.021.1, .2, .3, .9, .11, .12, .13, and .14.
You made a motion.
Roll call, Ms. Clerk.
I'll need a motion to go into, if we were.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
So, Councilwoman Parson?
Here.
Yes, to go into.
Yes.
Yeah, if we can. Councilwoman Fox?
Yes.
Councilwoman Horton?
Yes.
Councilman Smith?
Yes.
Councilwoman Taylor?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Cornman?
Yes.
Mayor Davis?
Yes. Mr. Winters?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Congratulations to our new mayor, Steve Davis, and Mayor Pro Tem Shane Cornman, and welcome to Councilwoman Jerica Fox. I'm excited about our new year getting started and look forward to all the great things to come as we move forward. Also, congratulations to the Lady Raiders and their big win today at
Yes, that was
the
awesome.
national tournament. So that's all I have for this evening.
Okay, if there's no other items to come before the council, do we have a motion to adjourn the regular
I make a
meeting?
motion, we adjourn.
Second.
Motion adjourned. Meeting adjourned.